Hi, everyone. Welcome to the download. My name is Mike Durezzo. Joel Lowe's with me. Hey, brother, how's it going today?
Good morning, good day,
Good morning.
good
Good day.
start to this lovely week. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So we started talking a little bit about new devices that are out. Because last week they had the new iPhone 14 reveal. It's hard to believe it's 14. There's
Great.
14 of these things.
It's a great number.
Multiple. There's actually more than 14. There's probably like 16 because there was like a 3G, a 3GS. Um,
You're right.
And then obviously Android has a bunch of new phones, cool phones that are out there. Um, so let's just talk. You had some good thoughts on this. And we kind of had like you'd said, well, you should buy a new phone every 2 to 3 years, and I was like, ooh, because
Right,
like when I
right.
buy something, especially when it's in that $1,000 mark, you're like, I'm gonna sit on this for a little while
Well,
and enjoy it,
they give
cradle it.
you credit. So if you do it in the time frame, you pretty much only pay like $102, a
Yeah,
$100 or $200 for the new phone because of the difference, because of the credit they give you for your phone.
yeah,
But if you wait 4 to 5 years, you lose all that, right? And I
that's
seen
true.
that with my wife's phone. She hadn't upgraded her phone in 5 years, but we got
Yeah,
our new one, and they gave her almost nothing. And it was like, it's
yeah,
her phone is old, right? My
yeah,
phone is not as old, and I went ahead and put in my deposit or
yeah.
for the new 14, and it's pretty much almost free, right?
Yeah.
Because
Nice.
of the credit they gave me and the special they had going on.
Yeah.
So I always say there's a reason to the madness, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and upgrade your phone, right?
Yeah.
Um, anything that you think of like they're trying to get me, they're going to get more information, they're trying to put more technology on me. It's all true. They already got you, right?
Privacy is a myth.
Get over it,
every
right?
every time somebody asks me that question at a conference, it's let me be absolutely clear. Privacy is a myth. Like somebody out there knows everything about you. In fact, if you ever have amnesia, go find these people
Right.
because they
Uh,
can. All right,
I
here's
mean,
what happened
every
when you were in
company
fourth
has you.
grade.
Every company has, that you've dealt with, at least one that's had some kind of breach, right?
You've traded that in, right? Hey,
Yes.
Google's free. Google is not free. Google is
Facebook,
gaining analytics on
yeah,
you.
Facebook's
Google's
not
not
free.
free.
Even that nice card you sign up for in the grocery store, right? And you're like, it's nothing, it's innocent. Well, isn't it funny how they send you ads when certain things that you shop for are on sale?
Right.
Or the
Or
fact that they think that you should need something now. Hey,
yeah.
you haven't bought coffee in a minute. You should be need a refill. You're like, I do need coffee. Right. That happened to me the other day at Sam's. I literally was about to check out, and the app was like, "Hey, do you need these? You haven't bought these in a while." And I was like, I feel offended, but I
How
do. I forgot all about
how
this.
dare you? I'll take two, but how dare you?
I cannot
Yeah.
believe it. I'm appalled as I grab what is told me. You know what? I did need these, right?
Beep.
So my thing is, that's already done, right?
Yeah.
So let's move past that and
Yeah.
realize that you should update your phone. I think every 2 to 3 years, 3 years at the
Yeah.
latest, right?
Yeah.
And let's talk about the pros of that.
Yeah.
New technology. So you got the latest and greatest when it comes to the operating system,
Yeah.
it being patched, things of that nature. Why is patching important? Because the flaws, right? The vulnerabilities, the risks that you
Yeah.
take with your phone, somebody getting your information, or you getting hacked, or things being taken or retrieved from your phone, reduce greatly when you get a new phone, right?
Right.
Also, too, with your old phone, make sure you're doing the updates. They're not
Yeah.
just sending them out to send them out. They didn't, Microsoft and Sony and Samsung and Apple
Apple.
wasn't like, you know what? I just feel like sending out a patch for no reason. I just want to aggravate
It's
everybody,
Tuesday.
send out a patch because I have
Send a
nothing else to
patch.
do. No, no. There's a method behind that. There's a reason. There's a vulnerability. There's something they're fixing.
Yeah.
And why patching is important, not only in your personal life, but at work as well, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're not doing it at both, you're gonna have problems, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
Definitely one of them would definitely get you locked up, right? So make sure you're
Well,
patching at work,
well,
right?
and it's not just the operating systems; it's those apps on your
Right,
phone and on your
right,
computer as well. We that's a challenge that everybody runs into. Is well, I'm updating the operating system. You're like, the operating system is just one layer of the
Right.
things that you use, right?
Right.
So the games and the tools and things like that you've downloaded in addition
Mhm.
to, what your phone came with, whether it's the marketplace or Apple
Right.
iStore, things like that. Those things need to be updated as well. And there
Right.
are options to update automatically in the background when you're on wireless. I'm sorry, when you're on Wi-Fi.
Right. Right.
But just make sure those stay updated as well. Sometimes people find out flaws in those, they get updates as well. Like so Joel and I in
Great
the
point.
security community, we get emails from different branches of volunteer or sectors of conglomerates and co-ops of different companies and organizations. Like I belong to HISAC, which is a healthcare information security group. And they publish these things. There's multi-state ISAC and things like that, where they say, hey, just want you to know Google has this flaw in this version.
Mhm.
Might want to push that update. We get these things. I get 4 or 5 of them from HISAC a day. I probably get
Right.
1 or 2 a week from MSISAC, but I get at least 4 or 5 a day from HISAC of like,
Yeah.
hey, if you have this, update this. Because there's issues in the wild. Like
Mhm.
somebody's got something they could use to break into this in the wild. Now that's commercial. That's work. Does that happen at home? Not as frequently. Sometimes
Right.
you'll hear things like routers. Your home wireless router has an issue. Definitely update those.
Yeah.
It's things you don't think about. Like, and to
Mhm.
be honest, it's things that businesses sometimes don't think about. They're like,
Right.
oh, there's infrastructure. There's access points that help with the wireless network that need to be updated. Some people don't think about that. So, but yeah, that you bring up a good point. Definitely update your operating system. Just going back, like, buying a new phone every once in a while, check to make sure that your phone can't get those new functions and features with the new operating system too.
Right.
So like you bought your phone last year, there's a new feature and functionality on the new phone coming because it has a new operating system. You may be able to update to that new
Right.
operating system as well and get
Right.
some of that feature functionality. And if you can afford it and it's cool, like we're both gadget files. Like I must have 15 different pairs of headphones on my desk right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's important to just understand where that is and everything else. Recycle, sell back your old technology.
Mhm.
There's ways to wipe your phone before you give it back to the store. And
And
they
I,
can
and I
do it.
wipe mine a couple of times. Right.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
that person. Like I will
yeah.
wipe it,
Hold on.
restore it again, and then wipe it again.
Yeah,
Right. A couple of times until I feel comfortable. And that's just
yeah,
me. Right.
yeah.
My other thing with that too is make sure you are looking through the apps. I think that's so a key point, right? To make sure you
Yeah.
update those. Also clean out your apps. Right. So
Yeah.
sometimes you don't need all those apps. Like one thing
Yeah.
that you thought you needed back 2 years ago, you don't need it anymore. Right. I had baby app stuff when my daughter was young and she's almost 10 now. So I was like,
Right.
why do I still have this? Right. We don't need it. Right. So clean up your apps, right?
Yeah.
Free up some space. Don't have stuff on there that you just don't need. Right. So when you're spring cleaning, go through your stuff and clean that out. Right. You
Yeah.
do not need it. Right. If you don't need it, get rid of it.
Yeah. I think we actually had a previous episode where we talked about that,
Right.
about cleaning out your applications on your phone and
Right.
your computer. And yeah. But yeah, no, and you get more life out of it, right? Sometimes if you remove all that stuff that's running in the background,
Right.
your phone runs faster, your laptop runs faster,
Yep.
things speed up because they're not running these programs constantly in the background. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. BYOD. This was something you brought this up. This is a good point too, because there's a lot of organizations that do this. I use my personal cell phone for work as well. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Right. So what you hear BYOD, but what does it mean? And let's break it down. Right. So bring your own devices. So there was this novel idea that now is more commonplace within companies where they used to provide phones for you. They would buy the phone, they would manage the phone, and you could be able to get all access to the network. But if you lost that phone, there was risks to the organization if they didn't have like an MDM that managed that device.
What's MDM?
So it's a mobile device management. Right. So if they didn't have that owner to be able to manage that device, meaning that if you lost it, we could wipe that completely device. Right.
Yeah.
So that any of the critical data that's on there, the access to our network would turn it into a brick pretty much, right? So they had the phone, they could no longer use it, they could no longer get in anything. So what he did was to take us from a situation, right, is the word I would use, because depending on what they got access to and what has been downloaded on the phone, it could be a event or incident, right? So there's a lot of PII on it. We now have a problem, right? And you saw that with like OPM. Somebody had a laptop, that laptop got stolen. It had a bunch of people's PII information. Now we have a incident, right? But if it was encrypted, right? And that's kind of what an MDM does. If it was encrypted, now it's just a laptop being lost, right? And for a cell phone, that was one of the big issues, managing that. So you lose your phone gets stolen, you break your phone. Now we have to buy you another phone. We got to figure out the contract stuff with how many years for your replacement. We got to steal it from somebody else who had a upgrade, but we're not going to take their upgrade. We're going to give it to you. Hey, we're going to upload all your stuff, try to get all your data back, and then give you this new phone, right? That's a headache. That was a lot. I mean, I knew my company, we had somebody that's all they did was phones. Right. There was so many of them out. There was so many, like, and managed that thing beautifully. And then all of a sudden, this whole, well, I don't want to buy them phones. I just want them to use their own phone because everybody has one. And let's put it in a container. Let me give them an app that we can use. Right. It gives them access to everything. And what's cool about this is if you part ways or the company parts ways with you, you can then blow it away. So we don't touch your pictures. They don't touch your information, your emails, any of that. It just blows that container away. You no longer have access into the network, right? And you're not allowed to pull anything from the network either. So you can't pull any files and put them on your cell phone and whatnot. So it's a great workaround. It's managed so much better now. And you look at it now and you're like, well, it makes sense. But I can remember the discussions that we had when it first came out, right? And pros and cons.
Stay away from my phone. You're not getting in my phone.
And what happens? And they just want to see my stuff. And no, we can't look into your stuff, right? We can't see who you're texting, but or what you're searching. That was always the big thing. I don't want you seeing what I'm searching. I was always like, well, what are you searching?
Now I'm concerned, right?
Now I'm curious, right? But no, we can't see what you're searching, right? It's literally what's in the app. And what it does too is if you lose your phone, it's just like that laptop with encryption, right? We can blow that app away and our risk is reduced greatly, right?
It's just gone.
It's gone completely.
Because those aren't actually sitting on your phone. They're reaching back from your phone into the network, into the approved environment.
Right.
So there's nothing on your phone. All I'm doing is wiping away that entry point or turning off the entry point from your phone. Correct. I don't even need to see the phone. I just go, what is it? Oh yeah, killed. And it's you no longer have connection in. And then once you get a new phone, you register the new phone, you're right back where you started.
Right.
So yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, right?
It is.
So
So
my thing is that's BYOD. And now it's moved to a whole bunch of other stuff, which we'll talk about later. But I think with that, don't be hesitant to do BYOD if you if you're one of those people that like to know what's going on within the environment. You got to stay on top of it, especially if you're a manager, right? If you're a manager or a leader, you need to have access to the network at all times, right? You can also,
and you don't want to carry two phones, right?
So you can IM, so you'll be able to speak to each other and do the things which is cool. So leaders, you need to have it. If you're just a regular worker and you feel like, hey, when I log off at 4 or 5, I want to be done, then don't get it. You have that freedom,
right? That freedom. One of the things we didn't talk about was updating your operating system. Some people wait and like, I'll get to it. I just want to come back around to this.
Right.
It's important. I'm one of those people. I don't usually update the day of or the day after. I usually wait 1 or 2 days. It's rare, but sometimes they pull those patches back. But after 2 days, I install that patch.
What I do is I usually go to YouTube. YouTube is your friend, right? Yeah. And I will type in, the new update, and somebody will tell you what it is. There's people way smarter than me that will say, hey, the new Apple iOS, update, and this is what it does, and you shouldn't be scared of it. It's going to change this, or it does this and whatnot, and it makes me feel better. Like, oh, okay, and then I'll again after 2-3 days, I'll then install it, right?
Yeah.
Also, too, with new phones, I don't remember if we talked about this, but make sure you figure out all the features, right?
Yeah.
Every phone has new features, has new gadgets and widgets and things. And the scary thing is your phone could be doing something and you have no idea because you haven't taken the time to kind of review it, look through it. Technology is way too dangerous to not know everything that's going on, right?
Yeah. Like Face ID, right? I mean, it's well, I don't want it having a picture of my face and everything.
Right.
It actually doesn't scan. It doesn't take a picture of your face. It's measuring biological points on your face and mapping that to an algorithm that says, okay, well, Mike Dorezzo's face is 416192117. What is that? Well, it's the measurement points between my eyebrows. I don't know. It could be a multitude of different things depending on the technology that we're talking about.
Right.
But that's it. And it's easy. It's relatively secure and things like that. It's certainly more secure than your 4-digit PIN that you use to open your phone with, right? That you don't have a wipe after 10 failed tries feature on. Because if you don't have it on, I'll just sit there and try 4-digit numbers until I figure it out. And we will figure it out. If it's alphanumeric, who's going to? So like I've had it where my cell phone locks on the highway and I'm like, I kind of need that. And if I didn't have Face ID, I would have to type in an alphanumeric password.
Yep.
Which at 70 miles an hour is probably not what I want to be doing.
Not the
so
safest.
I'd pull over and, whatever. But, with Face ID, it's tap, blink. All right, we're up and running again.
Right.
Let's get to this, and it's a pain. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Find out what those new security features are and functionality is. It's worth the investment of 5-10 minutes of your time to figure it out. Right?
Don't just spend your time on looking at the camera and the new recording, right? Picture. There's other things that the picture's the best, the camera's the best. Mm-hmm. There's other things that phone does. Trust me. You need to know and understand what that is. Right.
I will say this: the new iPhone 14 with the satellite, like if you're out of signal and you're in an emergency, it finds the satellite for you. Like that's perfect. That is stupid simple. I love that they were like, oh, just point it at a satellite, and you're like, bro, it's the middle of the desert. I haven't had water in 3 days.
Right.
Like I'm not even sure what a satellite is anymore.
Right.
Like it's like no, we got this. Keep it up. No, to the left, a little bit to the right.
Right there.
Send the text.
There it is. I like it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I've already pre-ordered mine. Nice. Hopefully it'll be here.
Well, maybe you can do an unwrapping for us. You get it.
Yes, I would love to. We could do that. That would be fun. So
takeaways. You just talked about one. Read up on your technology, right? Understand what it does. Lots of cool stuff. There's little features and functionality like on an iPhone. If you have a hard time, like I've known people who have like shaky hands, whether it's from Hodgkinson's or something like that, and getting something like a common feature is really hard, really difficult, right? There's feature functionality on your phone that you can like tap the back of the phone 3 times and it will take a screenshot, or it will do this, or it'll do that. And you have different things to do it. You can, have your watch connected to it, do different things and unlock this and that and the other thing. I think that's really cool. And it's not really spoken about functionality because maybe it's not as cool as finding a satellite and sending help to find your desiccated corpse in the desert. But it's really very cool stuff. So take a look at the accessibility features and functionalities. What else you got as a takeaway?
Make sure so we talked about the 2 to 3 years for updating your phone, and I think 4 to 5 years or 3 to 4 years for your laptop, right?
Right.
Update your technology. There's a reason why, right, that you need to do it. It isn't for you to spend more money, right? It's a security thing. It's a function thing. Yeah. Go ahead and just plan for it, right?
Right.
And then again, if your phone is not super old, you will get the most money for your phone. And even for my watch, right? They do that too. Like I had my first watch forever. And by the time I exchanged it for a new, iWatch, they were like, this thing is old, right? If you would have came, 2 years ago or a year ago, we would have been able to give you the most maximal money for it. So
Yeah.
again, it's worth it. Like you said, know the features and what's going on. YouTube helps you with that, right?
Yeah.
YouTube.
Our buddies at YouTube.
There's people who are way smarter than us, just typing in what the question is, and they'll go through the whole unveiling of the phone and what it does. Like one of my big things for phones is a hard reset, right?
Yeah.
To reset your phone, it doesn't reset it to the factory standards, but sometimes you just need to reboot it. It's a computer, right? And it's always constantly running. So I need to know how that is. And with each phone is different. You push this button up, push this down, hold this, count 3 times, right? Jump on one leg and spin around.
Right.
And it always works, right? But with the new one, it could be something different. I could have to cough twice and, elbow it 2 times and then cut it off. I don't know, right? But whatever it is, you want to figure it out, because when you want to do it or you need to do it, and there's somebody out there right now who is making a video telling us how that's done.
Right. Probably putting music to it.
Right. And then last but never least is the BYOD, right? It is your friend. Don't be scared of it. It's going to be okay. Right.
Well, and I think you had a good point. This allows you to get technology that you're comfortable with, right? So I only want to keep one phone. Like I've done that with 2 phones, or a phone and a pager. And yeah, I'm that old. But you get technology that you're comfortable with, that you like. I've got the larger format iPhone because it fits better in my hands, and I don't need reading glasses as I'm driving with the GPS. And it matches the what I need. I used to drive around a lot, so I would use my phone as my GPS using Waze and things like that. So I could use my phone. This is my phone. I get the larger format. Maybe the company wouldn't pay for the larger format phone. So this is me buying it. I'm happy with it. You're happy with it. They're happy with it. They can take back what's theirs if they need to, and give me access where they need to. And that's it. All it is it's not Big Brother. It really isn't Big Brother. They don't, like, people are like, you can see my password in IT. I'm like, I don't care. I could just reset it. Like I don't need to know. Here's my password. Like, lady, that's embarrassing. Like, no, please, I don't want to know what your password is moving forward. But it's not Big Brother. It really is just authentication into an environment that allows access that they can pull back immediately. That's all it really is.
Yep, 100%, man.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
No, man. Ain't knowing is half the battle.
All right. It is only half the battle. It's only half the battle.
It's only half.
Read the manual. Read the manual.
Read the manual, people.
Read the freaking manual. So thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us 22 minutes into the show. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Drop us a comment. If you want to know anything, you want us to cover anything, Joel and I have about 40 something years of IT and IT security experience between it. Most of it's Joel. Actually, I think I'm older than you. But anyways, just let us know in the comments if you have any questions or things like that. Please subscribe and hit the like button. We try to put out one of these a week. This week we'll get 2 of them because I didn't have time to do this is a twofer. A twofer.
Oh.
So we'll get 2 of them out this week, but just let us know. And thank you so much for coming. We don't do this for money. This is really just kind of help out. It's what we thought was missing from the world, and we care about people and want to share some information. So thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful week.